Hello guys. Today Symantec and his team Humble is playing against ZETA Division in the semi-finals of the Brawl Cup.
僕たちが勝つって気持ちでやるので勝ちます。
Maybe a better team win this time. Let's see who actually has the right in the predictions in this Brawl Cup.
A game of champions is up next. DreamHack Dallas, go crazy for your first semi-finalist to step to the stage. It is Humble! It's Lukey, Box, and Symantec! And their opponents, they are ZETA Division! Shitampo, Levi, and Shizuku!
Throwing out their shirts, making sure the fans are hype, awake, and alert for semi-final number 2. It's legendary, this matchup. We've seen it already last year, and it did not go well for ZETA Division, losing 3-0 to Humble. But today, history can be rewritten.
I remember calling that match, and it was a really shock loss for ZETA Division. The fact that they weren't able to find any edges against a team like Humble, when they had an embarrassment of riches on that Shitampo roster at the time. I really thought that, his team would go the distance. ZETA Division are a very different looking roster now, though. Very different organization, and I really do think they've got the X factor. The fact that, Symantec sits there and says if they have the draft, they're world champions, says it all to me.
Yeah, for Humble as well, you got to remember the pressure that is kind of on their shoulders in that regard. And Symantec shrugs it off and says, hey, we've done it all. We haven't got to worry about any kind of pressure. But there is always that responsibility to maintain consistency for your fan base. And, regardless as to what way you try to swing it, we have all got our eyes on Humble, because the question coming into this competition was always, are they still on top of the world? Coming into this next game is going to determine whether that remains to be true.
I'm super excited for this very first draft as well. Humble are the ones to set some trends in the past, with Barry playing him on every single match almost, even in the World Finals itself. In the finals, we saw him come out of this team a lot. Now they were the first ones to really bring in Finks, played it every time they can, thanks to Lukey being one of the best snipers in the region. And the other teams follow suit, bring Finks in more often than almost any other brawler.
It's kind of wild to think that, Symantec's first time in the USA. I think he's been soaking it up so far, but there's always a side to him. As soon as you start to ask him about the tournament itself, he gets a bit serious. That silly grin just sort of disappears off his face, and it's all business from here on out. That's right, they've been trendsetters. I think that they're drafting. I think the way that Kanan has prepared this team for those big tournaments has made a massive difference, but what else do they have to rely on? This is a pretty... Wow, that is a very one-sided vote, considering that we are talking about the world champions here. There's definitely a sense that ZETA Division are expected to perform greatness here.
I'm kind of shocked that that is what is on the screen in front of me, because of course ZETA are going to have a big fan base, but this is the reigning champions of the world. Humble have already beaten so many teams that lie in their wait, and now for ZETA Division, the draft comes in for Shooting Star, a chance to topple the Titans, Max, Gene, and RT bands from Humble, the Bell, the Jae-Young, and the Angelo from ZETA Division. The Angelo is a great band, by the way. That's a big Humble special here.
Not only that one, but also the map itself is a Humble special. They have Lukey amongst their lines, and as I mentioned already, one of the best sharpshooters we have in the game. Picking up that Nanny as first pick is definitely going to help them out here. Angelo Bell banned out on the side of ZETA Division. It's very targeted towards them. Piper, for example, they're still open. With that Nanny first pick, is there going to be a direct counter?
Well, it probably doesn't feel great to pick the Piper into Nani at the best of times, but there are ways that you can work around it. ZETA Division don't try and go for these hotly contested sharpshooters, though. They might be giving more over to Humble. It's a pretty scary prospect. I like the Gust here, especially if push comes to shove. If Humble have the kind of composition that wants to get up in their face, Gust is such a good option.
Lumi is available here. I was going to put that one out there. It's one that ZETA Division have been scrimming. A 63% win rate, and it is open here. The max ban is quite key from Humble. It kind of eradicates a lot of the kind of more aggressive East Asia ideas with the kind of Melody and the Gust Shield combination. Been going with the Grey for now, but keep an eye on that particular brawl, as we know coming into this competition a 99% ban rate.
Yeah, she has been looked at every single time. I mean, with the exception of this one, this might be the only ban phase that she's been able to escape through. But ZETA Division already kind of have their plan set up. Now, finishing this composition with a Lumi would still be fine, I think, for ZETA. They've obviously got a grade that allows them a huge amount of flexibility. Humble now. They don't take the Lumi here. They're not taking her at all.
Byron here is not a bad shout. Ollie would be a good pairing with that particular brawler too if they want to bring some heals to the equation. Obviously, Ollie can have that additional speed by being close to walls, so they opt to go for that star power. Having a Byron to really force their way forward to the map wouldn't be the worst of ideas in the world. Let's see if they want to kind of like have the Piper maybe on their side. Luki's an incredible Piper. They've already got the nanny, they've doubled down, they've deterred ZETA from being able to pick it. Why not combine it? Byron with the Ollie makes sense to me. I quite like that for Humble. They've got a massive amount of heals. They've got the aggression. But for ZETA, again, do they go Lumi now?
Might be a trap. Humble sort of dangling that in front of ZETA Division saying, yeah, go for it, guys. You can take that pick. We're fine. We have two brawlers that pretty much outrange you. And if we want to dive in your direction, if Boss is going to be using the regulate gadget, that means that can close the gap pretty easily. Having virtually 2 dashes in trying to hit that super. And yes, Lumi picks for the first time here at Brawl Cup. ZETA Division say, well, if you're not going to take it, we may as well.
And now it's all about the question, is Lumi that good on this map? You know, because every time that it has not been banned, which is just the once, it has lost. And Humble are not a squad that would overlook something like that. That's the only question for me. It's got a 44% win rate in scrim, so but that, again, is only based upon the amount of times it's been left open.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one.
I saw Lumi picked by Revenant X Spark in their qualification game, in their LPL, Road to Brawl Cup. They got given a lot of really good brawlers in those draft phases, and they did win with it, but they were kind of dominant in that game in general. We're in for a treat, folks. ZETA will be on that Lumi, trying to show us exactly just how oppressive that she can be. It's a lot for Humble to sort of keep track of. Luki here definitely trying to make sure, yeah, you don't want to get caught inside that gadget. Fnatic just able to crawl away. The Byron heals are so instrumental here.
Oh, the long pull, beautiful from ZETA. Absolutely textbook. And they knew how to do it best. 3 stars and the blue. Humble, slipping and sliding, not just on those morning stars, but in terms of their own stars.
Oh man, yeah. That Grim and Frostbitten gadget is absolutely terrifying. And I mentioned earlier, the grey is so important here to be able to catch people out. Curious to see if Boss has all eyes on me as the gadget taker. I think that's less likely. Symantec definitely needs to start connecting these shots. Hasn't been able to build a peep yet, so has really been kept at arm's length. Here comes Peep now, maybe looking at Shitampo's direction. Boss is the one that goes down instead, though. Lev is able to pick him up. Shitampo survives and has an opportunity to heal here.
It's a great start from ZETA. They can just hunker down in this backside spawn and just wait for Humble to push them forward. Peep going through it yet again, just going to go for the left-hand side break. I quite like that from Humble, absolutely intentional, allowing Luki to have more space to breathe, but now the hypercharge of Suzuki, and he's probably looking for a hypercharge, one tap away, and gets it just a little bit late there as well, but still, the aggression was great. The pull from Humble going in, Boss gets the hypnosis, gets the takedown, and now they just need 3 more stars.
I mean, that's quite a big job. There's nobody with 3 stars to their name on the ZETA side of things yet. So, 3 stars in it, but all the ZETA players have 2 stars to their name. Humble have to go for it now. It's all in or nothing. And I guess the latter is what they come up with. Lumi gets in. The rest of the draft, though, looks very, very solid for ZETA Division, and it's honestly a pretty comfortable win.
Humble need this blue star. That's the problem. But against the Lumi, the Morning Stars, and the freeze inevitably there on the map, ZETA can get there first. They can just sit around on that. Hold on to it, protect it. There it goes. There's the Tampo.
It's too risky.
Gives them all the time in the world to be able to go for the star, but Livy there. Oh, might trickle down, but no follow-up. Wasn't quite an angle there for Humble, but they can keep the pressure on for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and map control is what this nutty composition really wants. Suzuki had nowhere to go there. ZETA Division get the blue star. They have to give up 2 in order to get it, but there's a great blast speed at long range from Shitampo. Boss had nowhere to go.
Keep going forward. Good body blocking there from Levy, but it goes straight into the arms of Luki, and great poison taps. And sure a takedown. That's going to be 4 stars and the blue. Just a 1 star lead for Humble, but they'll take it. That is more than they had in the last game combined, so Absolutely good positioning from them, but now this is where ZETA get aggressive. We already know from Symantec, but they are concerned about that. And a low Tampo there as well. The body blocking is going to be there from his teammates to ensure that he stays alive. They're going to be surviving it for now.
Nicely done by Levy. It is tough to drive the peep in the right direction sometimes. Boss caught by the walking cane. Those are indestructible boxes, so no open sideline in the direction of the Ollie here for ZETA Division. And Humble know they can't afford to just give up the map. They need to maintain a presence here in mid. But ZETA are starting to get hungrier and hungrier. Starved of that blue star. They need to be the aggressors now.
Luki has got the heals, but ZETA have got the freeze. Boss pushed in the left-hand side. Symantec alone needs the heals from Luki and gets them. There is still some splash available too. Hypercharge peep coming in. Levy so low, 322 HP on that top side of the map, forced back. So Humble can have space to breathe. With 20 seconds on the clock, one singular takedown from ZETA is all they need to claim this set.
This is dangerous though for Shitampo. He's quite squishy. As is Suzuku. He's been taken extremely low, and Boss is still holding onto a super. This should be a Humble round. Boss comes forward now. Shitampo is caught inside that hypnotism. Woo! A very clean bounce back from Humble, showing us how to play against that Lumi comp. Much more composed from them than we saw in that first round.
I'm going to reserve myself for now because it's a great ZETA draft. Humble had the workaround, but if they don't have the start in this third game, it can go back to the way it was when we came into this series.
But do they have an answer to this Nani arc? Especially with the healing that Luki's able to provide. It seems like there's no direct answer to it on the map.
They're body blocking the peeps, and their HP is enough, then they can tank them along the way, but it's the timing of Humble really to ensure some taps prior to that, to liaise with Symantec, to ensure that communication. And again, this blue star, this is how ZETA like to start. If they can stay firm, oh, and there's an extension of that lead as Suzuki finds Luki there as well. Bit of chewing on the right-hand side between Symantec and Suzuki too. So you have to heal up, but this is not the start that Humble were looking for.
The Cookie Popper, you've got to respect it. When you see those ghosts come down, you've got to remember that the enemy, Gus has the ability to detonate them in a radius and to confirm that elimination. That was extremely brazen by Shitampo. Could easily have been sort of tapped down out of nowhere. He wants to take the TP yet again. Blast beam connects on the Boss, and it's an easy pickup. Here comes Levy. Symantec is in peak form right now and is being juked. He's trying to double it back with Levy spying on him, trolling the utter disrespect from ZETA as they go to a 6-star lead.
Oh, that shielding was good for a while, but he was looking for Shitampo. Levy with 4 stars and the blue make a prime candidate for Humble. And then they can just find one more after that, but getting just one member of ZETA is going to be tough. A little bit of break. That left-hand side now. Luki finds Levy now as Boss goes in the left-hand side, gets the hypnosis. Shitampo falls, and now they just need 4. And Levy is the person to fall! That is the perfect person to land the shots on! And now Humble have got the lead, but they've got to hold on for 20 seconds, and this push from ZETA is going to be brutal.
They're not going to give up the map for free, that's for sure. Grim and Frostbitten popped by Shitampo. He has a blast beat available. Looking in Boss's direction. Catches him with the roots. Still, the follow-up damage isn't there. And the walking game's a little bit too slow. And ZETA Division come close. It's a close shave for Humble. But they look like they're going to get away with it. Suzuku drops in the final seconds. And Humble secure an important map win. Proving to themselves that they more than deserve to stand on such a stage against such opposition. I think Angelo is going to be looked at very closely. Likely needs to be banned by ZETA Division, lest they give that one over.
Well, this is going to be really quite an interesting one for me, because this was the very map that we had Humble play on yesterday. And they brought in the Meg, and I was chatting to Kanan about that yesterday in the meet and greet, and that wasn't necessarily the game plan, but it worked out kind of well. And it's a very North American pick. I don't think it's necessarily one that many are considering here, but one that worked out well for Humble yesterday. They combined it with the Eve and the Gene against Loud, and it was so convincing. Then again, that was the start of that back and forth, and we saw Loud weren't really kind of with that. They were just a little bit behind the times in that series. The ban's been the Brock, which is actually a very underrated ban, but one that I really quite like here. That ability to break the mid so quickly. But the Byron first pick is available here on the side of ZETA. I'm going to go for Hank, but this is a Humble pick. Humble can now just go Byron themselves, which they want anyway in this draft, and then take it away from ZETA. I mean, it's perfect. They're actually going to ban the Meg from ZETA, so they saw yesterday, and they were scared by it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You still have Eve as an option. Humble can look like Byron Eve, and then sort of work in someone that can really make use of that healing for later on. Ollie's still available. There's not a lot of damage in that comp is the only issue. Humble do need to make sure they've got hard-hitting DPS because even without a healer, Hank with that gadget can be really a tough nut to crack at the best of times. Finks. Gonna be the ask here for Humble. It's a lesser seen map for this brawler, but Humble are all about Finks. They really feel like it's kind of nowhere that he's awful.
It's just so versatile across the modes. When the Humble have been the very team that comes straight to mind when I think of this brawler now. Byron, Pearl, like you mentioned, Ollie as well, for Humble wouldn't be the worst of ideas, but we saw Kenji yesterday as well. It's tough to make these kind of short-range brawlers work. Yeah, Pearl is a good combination with a potential Byron, but they can't do that. Surely Zeta are thinking it for themselves now at this stage.
And this Pearl is so based. I love this pick. Obviously, she hits unbelievably hard. Her gadget with the burn down impact, when you're at full heat and you have a gadget hit and you get relatively good purchase on someone like a Hank, like they're dead, bro. They're just going to blow up instantly. Really, so you got a sleeper build, Pearl does, for maps like this. So clearly no issues with damage. Right. Humble have that in spades. Meeple, honestly, has kind of fallen from grace. We've seen them on this out in the open map so far. ZETA Division would like to have Suzuki play close enough to Levy, or at least close enough to capitalize on those mages of Meeple. Because if you don't have a thrower, Hank is the only way you can actually damage the people caught inside of that.
Could be a Bell, potentially to mark up the Pearl. Gus would be the worst of shouts, but they've got to be a little bit cautious here to not pick Piper, because the Eve would be a great response from Humble, and we've seen that they do quite like that particular brawler. Bell going to come in. Again, direct answer for this Pearl pick on the side of Humble. Now they can choose. They've got some options here. Surprises they didn't go for the Byron, but it is by far the top pick from Humble. 73% win rate with it as well. Do they go for that long-range affair? I'm definitely scared of this Meeple. It's not the most common pick, but it's one that can just eradicate the bush so quickly on this map. And when you're a brawler like Pearl, you want her to cook. Literally, both in the game and figuratively also.
I feel like the queen bee.
B.
Okay.
Okay. It's definitely not one that was on my horizons. I'm not too sure. I mean, this is not a brawler that gets played very often at all, but they're running into Hank. They need something to be able to defend against it.
This is going to be a hard map for the Hank. I just think being able to slow that Hank down as he tries to approach is crucial, and we know just how deadly Boss can be. Also, like, there's a big risk of sort of trying to walk up on the Pearl. Her hypercharge, Pyrolytic, does also leave a burning field around her, which can deny a lot of that space away. Humble, no, they can't give up the map. If they do so, the Meeple Super is still going to allow Zeta to shoot at them at the bottom.
Lovely reverse polarity style there from Levy. Does find a connection onto Boss. Not too much more than that. And there is the dice that go down and just completely dismantle that bush area. Suzuki going to be able to get stuck in now. The reverse polarity there from Levy. This time round, not too sure about a connection. This is the problem for me, is that if Luki can't find like a rattled hive into Suzuki trying to push him away from this wall, and as time goes on, the gas comes in, and Hank comes closer. Now pushing his way forwards, the Boss finds that shot as well. And again, the Manchester People goes down. Zeta seem looking very much in control of this one so far.
Yeah, and they got a lot of that control. Boss is really being squeezed out towards the bottom side. We've not really yet seen the Meeple Super be important, but as the round goes a little bit later, it definitely is going to have some impact. Manchester Meeple should be up, yep, couple seconds. Symantec sees that one coming, but now the gas comes in. Much of the map's been taken away. Suzuki comes forward. Luki's going to be hit there. Levy has a super. Should they need to use it? And Symantec's trying to get involved. There's nothing for Humble to really do here, but there it is. First pick traded out, and it's Boss from the bottom part of the map. Tucks himself into the perfect spot.
Getting a little bit close to me though. Luki with a couple of missed shots. Really wasn't quite as clean as Humble would have liked, but nonetheless, a round is a round. But now with the bush completely decimated now, and Suzuki pushing forward, Humble on the back lines on a map like this, you don't want to find yourself in your back spawn side. Now getting things a bit more under control. And the Hank pushed all the way back now. Boss can just take this left-hand side lane, shut that down, keep Zeta in their spawn side. If Luki wants to go in there with Rattled Hive as well, just keep diminishing things down. The timings of this gadget are key for ZETA. Those mansions of meeple, you've got to reserve them in the back pocket for when the gas comes in to be able to get back out if you're stuck in your spawn.
Yeah, exactly. Here it's being used just to try and get them back into the map, but ultimately it doesn't work out because Levy takes far too much damage. Luki can play that straight away against the belt. And Levy has to dodge these shots pretty astutely. He will have a guaranteed mark. He probably wants it on the Pearl, but instead it catches onto Luki. He'll have to take it for the time being. Gas is starting to come in. Levy needs to move towards the middle of the map, but Symantec's already made use of that gadget. He's still healthy though. Boss, hypercharge available. Suzuku getting chunked up down in the back corner. Shatapu was able to find that pick on Luki. Boss had it all to do there. And it's just too much to ask.
I like big boxes, and I cannot lie.
Luki would have got some great value there as well from that Rattled High, but he just went down, and it may have been enough to help his team get that win, but now this game all up for grabs. 1 round apiece. Humble are completely exposed now. Suzuki on the left-hand side, keep the pressure on. No reverse polarity collection there for Levy. Now Suzuki's will be a bit cautious. He's low HP. Levy has the mark. If they can land that onto Boss, going into an overtime scenario, that's someone who can go down and be more susceptible to it. Oh my goodness me, disgusting! Levy used the mark to secure the kill and makes it a 3 versus 2.
Ooh, Symantec, what a pick. He has time to get some health back. Suzuki's trying to run him down now quickly. Symantec doesn't have a gadget. He's got to fight his way out of that corner. It's just too much. Here's Boss though. He is charged up in heat, and that's an overcooked gadget to bring Levy to his knees. Boss has got to respect Suzuki and chunk that Pearl down. Nicely done. Hank handled it long range. Now we start to see the idea behind the Pearl.
I don't think it's an outdraft just yet, but a convincing start nonetheless for Humble in knockout. I think we've got still more to see from this meeple. It's certainly been good at getting rid of the bush, as it always will be, but to position Humble into the eye of the storm, that's where ZETA have got to be working a little bit more in this next game.
Just a USDA Prime Garden variety. 1 versus 2 there from Boss. Not without the office for him. There's Symantec going down. Levy has been the most dangerous player on ZETA Division on this game so far, but there's Boss there once again chiming in. Luki's ready to hit Levy hard. Rattled Hive now is scary for Shizuku. He will be able to avoid it for now, but they've given up the map in order to do so, and Luki's sitting on a Bell Super. Basically a guaranteed slow for whoever wants to move up. Boss is marked though. Finally, Levy gets that super on the intended target.
Good chemistry between Luki and Boss here. But Luki now low on the left-hand side, and Boss is going to be able to defend this as best he can. And he's marked, like you say, and now goes Luki. It's all up to Boss. Surely now ZETA can just pick him up quite straightforwardly. And that is going to be a round going the way of ZETA. Starting to look better. Hypercharge available for Levy. There's a reverse polarity there, but it's about straight back to their side. Suzuki just needs to get in that position. Keep Boss shooting ideally. Symantec going straight into the middle of the map. The gadget. He's susceptible, but he survives on just enough for Humble to be able to heal.
Symantec just dodged the hypercharged Bell Super by gadgeting it just the right moment to avoid it. What unreal tech. So the Finks is not marked. Levy does not get anything for his troubles there. Symantec there. Oh, Shitapo, he's done. Slowed up. No escape for him. Luki popped a hyper to make sure there'd be some connection.
ZETA in a tough spot now. Levy low and just struck between a rock and a hard place. No escaping there. It was going to be left or right side of the barrel, and Humble had both locked down. It's going to be nothing that Suzuki can do here except try it against some utility, but they don't want to feed into Humble. He'll find Boss, but that's not going to be enough. 2 more remain. And now, 1 round, and it could be Humble being 2 sets ahead.
Let's see how Symantec wants to make use of this Fink Super. He's been able to develop it from that previous round, and it's so good against the Bell, against the Meeple. It's a real problem for those longer range brawlers. Symantec's holding off on it. Luki's been able to get some nice taps and find a super. The deck is stacked in favor of Humble right now. ZETA Division are fighting from a really oppressive position.
Boss has been so suppressive. He's got that overcook running, the shield as well. Nowhere to go for ZETA. Trapped in the corner. They need the Meeple gadget to come through, but it's going to be timed again with this gas to come through. And Humble know it. They're all over this. The utility is vast. They've got a time warp. They've got the Lukey slow there as well. Boss has got the hypercharge. Now Zeta just trying to position themselves. Hypercharge for Hank, that could be useful here as well. But now the horns are about to lock.
And the gas comes in. Symantec finally decides to pop that super hit. Suzuki getting a bit lower than Boss tearing through them. Here comes Humble thundering into a second set with a signature draft featuring the Finks, the Pearl for Boss though.
They've been able to just demolish their opposition with it every single time. Of course, the heavy consideration around the tanks. Like I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. Shade is not a surprise to anyone anymore. Can be certainly banned by Humble, but there's no surprise element, and Tampa himself said that that was the key, that monthly finals. No one was really screwing it, no one was prepared for it. I hope we see it because it is going to be him with it, and that's always so entertaining. It's not banned.
Humble have first pick here. ZETA Division actually know they give first pick over to Humble and they don't want to deal with the Jaeyong. We saw what SK Gaming were able to do with it in their last set of that series, Sneaky Fields, that was Yoshi. Jaeyong is just a little bit of a problem. In fact, ZETA Division have banned 2 healers. Tried to take them away. Here comes the Hank. Get that one picked up straight away. Especially with Finks off the table. Banned by Humble themselves. But this is a scary brawler for Triple Dribble. A very powerful one. And finally, for the first time this series, Humble have opted to take Hank up for themselves.
It's interesting. I didn't see this coming from Humble. It's kind of textbook Kanan really just coming through for his team to keep the opposition guessing. Keeping me guessing on the desk for sure. Let's see what Zeta are going to pick up next. It's, to me, yeah, Kenji
so early for Kenji.
It's not got the highest of win rates, but it's still disgustingly good. But the Hank is the #1 pick for Zeta, so it feels like Humble is taking that away from Zeta. Having that first pick makes a lot of sense. Willow would be a great thrower for me here, consideratively it's with the Hypercharge edition. Very, very good here. The Stu as well. Very aggressive for Zeta to consider. B, to play into the Hank if they want to go. I think they should probably start to counter Hank at this stage of the draft, really. Lou or B will lose banned out by Humble, so they're not going to go for it just yet. Draco.
Wow. A
This is
very
wild
tanky
draft.
team. Now, does this make it hard to bring like Juju in, for example? Seems like a decent brawler option. On the map like Triple Dribble. Do you start worrying about having enough damage now to deal with both Levy and Suzuki?
It's hard, yeah, overthrown so easily, but Juju's so good into tanks. You know, we saw Kenji struggling into Juju a lot this weekend.
Take like the acupressure star power, giving Grigri a slow. That's a very niche approach. Oh, Shade, okay. Get around things out a little more. And again, like we kind of discussed it, good chance that Zeta were looking to take that for themselves. Humble are, I wouldn't say they're strangers to the pick, but I wouldn't say they're exactly known for it.
Not even in the scrims. This is a new, unexpected turn for Humble. It's a back pocket pick for sure, one they've potentially been saving. But you got to ask yourself the question, against the very team that have championed this brawler and demonstrated to the world how effective it can be, they're going to be the ones that know how to play against it. Max, that will certainly be Lukey's pick. Jackie, I've got my reservations. I was all for Jackie, but it's definitely been dropping off. We've seen it struggle certainly in this weekend at the Brawl Cup as well. Hasn't always delivered the goods. Let's see how it will fare for Zeta. This is going to be a winning draft for them, or they're playing for third place.
Is it a winning
tough
draft?
time to pick a Jackie.
Yeah, it's a triple tank setup here virtually for ZETA Division. They are going for utter durability. That's their Hail Mary, that's their gambit here. And what could be the end of their run at Brawl Cup? Clearly they know something that we don't. Humble though are poised to make this a pretty swift affair. Getting to the grand final against SK Gaming and doing so in style would be very on brand for this team. And Boss, you might want to do something about that guy. Yep, the Shade already gets up the guts and finds an early goal.
Wide open. I mean, it was just so free there for Boss. The Jackie definitely an answer for that Shade, as one that Zeta knows is probably the best counter for it, but again, they've got to find the goods past the Stampo as well, and it should be a walk through into the goal. And a response so quickly, 2 goals in 30 seconds. It's what you love to see in the Brawl Cup.
Okay, whoa, we're here for a good time, not a long time apparently. Symantec, hypercharge super pop there. A little bit of damage felt by Levy and Shatava, but nothing to write home about. Levy's still going to come down with the ball! And it's already done! ZETA Division run it down mid. What a way to try and stay alive in this series. They've got more health, clearly, than Humble can cut through.
Symantec said coming in that sometimes Zeta just love to run it down. That was his words coming into this series. Now he's starting to eat them. Unless Humble can dig deep enough. Look again, straight for the eye of the storm. Boss low, Lukey low. Symantec staying firm on his right-hand side. Does find the upper hand. Suzuki, though, it's going to be a thorn. Just fall now. Solid defense from Humble. Zeta now with a new lease of life, some confidence, some blood running through the veins still. And Humble hunkered down, top side of the map, and a danger here for Zeta.
The dodge of that Kenji super is so big. Remember that first bubble on Suzuki doesn't really do anything because of that shield that staves off the damage. The second one, though, hits a little bit harder. Nice super there from Symantec. Popped a hyper for it as well. Levy taken low, has a hypercharged super off his zone, but he's in a really awkward spot to make use of it there, and there was really no chance for him to turn that into a winning situation for ZETA Division. Suzuki knows which way the wind's blowing here. He's pocketed the ball in the corner.
A good heal. Then goes down himself regardless. Levy will be getting the ball. Always tempted. He was always intercepted there from Boston. Levy went for the pass, which he didn't, so good for him. Hypercharge down for the speed, and a potential super which does connect. Wonderful stuff from Zeta, and a goal easily done. 1 minute 15 on the clock, and Humble need to find something here to be able to come back strong, or this set be going the way of Zeta already. A good advance towards the goal. Tampa needs the helping hand, and Symantec has already got the mid locked down. Great slow from him. Humble survive. Now speed, they've got to get back in this game and fast.
That one-by combo from ZETA Division is devastating. Blending up Humble in front of their goals. Now though, Humble have that map control. No big supers on the side of Zeta. Also not Dragon form timing there from Chitampo. Doesn't expose Symantec back for the time being. Oh, Lukey, we love to see it. Having to take the Kenji down, and the gentleman's 1 versus 1. Chitampo now back to the corner. Try and put the ball away, but Boss will try and dig it out. It's a missed super entirely for Suzuki, but Boss is in a weird spot. Getting to the back of the map now, a bit of a nuisance. Giving them a clap from out of bounds. That's a stunning goal from Symantec.
Now the clock ticks down. Humble on the defense. Kenji going on the aggressive. That hypercharge there. Lukey so low. This could be a chance for Zeta to secure the goal. They get it done. They get a set on the board. There's still life. Heals will be on the minds very much here of both sides on dueling beetles. It's the name of the game, in my opinion. Very definitely going to be up there for Humble in that regard. The heavy hitters you've got to eradicate immediately. Lumi, of course. Kenji for me as well. Needs to be there. Lu. Going to have a heavy consideration on those kinds of bans.
What about the bow? We've seen him start to creep in a little bit more to this map.
Hypercharge tends to elevate any brawler. Is it worth a ban? I wouldn't say so, yeah. Things on both sides. Could be a worthy pick, but the Lu's available, so you kind of want to gravitate towards that first. It's kind of like the hand-me-down child, isn't it, really, of those two brawlers? Yeah.
If Lu's there, you just can't really let your opponents have it.
Hank's available here as well. There's big tanks, you know, worth locking in early.
You take the Hank or the Lu here? That's the question. You know, they're probably going to get distributed across both teams. The Lu comes in for ZETA Division. It is traditionally considered an answer to the Hank. Can cause him no shortage of headache. Dueling Beetles is such a good map for Hank. He can really just... so much damage over those walls. Should they remain intact? We've seen Griff opted for on this map as well. And strategies definitely have leaned towards opening the destructible parts of the map up a little more. I mean, Humble are a Frank team.
They're a Frank team. They're a tank team in general. Hank, Berry, those kind of... Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, this could even be double tank at this rate, honestly. I mean,
Cementing on the Frank is disgusting.
And they're not worried about the Lu, I don't feel. I mean, that's a statement, isn't it? You know, Jaehyun coming in, speed, heals. It's a safe pick to have at this stage of the draft as well. You can kind of choose to gravitate towards each way. You can wait to see what Zeta want to do next, but definitely some considerations here. That Lu player is going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, no shortage of targets for whoever is piloting the Lu. ZETA Division here see half the story from Humble, and they've got to finalize their draft here and now. So Buster is a bit of an option here, but you want something that can disrupt the Frank. Draco doesn't necessarily do that, or at least he's not likely going to be doing that. It's going to be Much like we saw from Toxic Lotus, just trying to abuse that last stand gadget as much as humanly possible. So you've got some range. Lu is not really to be considered a damage threat. The last pick here for ZETA is definitely going to tie both schools of thought in this draft together.
The berry ban, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have a Poco or just some additional healing. That's kind of where Draco can really kind of thrive. Or just, again, run it down. Buster. A tough tank to play into for sure. One that can just, you know, really cancellate a lot of what you're trying to achieve with the Frank. Frank's got, of course, the noise cancellator gadget himself. So it's about that timing, that battle of the green button effectively as well. But Poco wouldn't be the worst idea here for Humble. If ZETA aren't going to go heals, maybe that's what they need to bring in themselves. It was a good berry ban there from ZETA. Certainly one that Humble could have absolutely tore away with had it been open. Barley, Herbal Tonic. Herbal Tonic.
Extra healing, even more. And no thrower that can actually challenge Luki. And where's the wall break for ZETA Division? They don't really have a way to actually put Luki on the back foot here. I mean, Symantec likely will break some walls incidentally over the course of the game. Then you mentioned it. Slow-mo replay from Buster is able to disrupt Frank as he's winding up for those supers. Frank has to use in advance the active noise-cancelling gadget to render him immune to that crowd control, so he can complete the ultimate, obviously, and still stun people up. That's that interaction we're going to be watching very, very closely. With the Jaeyong in Decider sets has been pretty good so far today. Boss already pops that Weekend Warrior gadget for a bit of a damage boost.
The time for it. Absolutely straight out the gates. Humble playing ZETA now at their own game. On the left-hand side now, Symantec whistling down to Tampo now, going to Dragon Form. And surely a last stand pop there is, but then a great preemptive splash there from Luki to ensure a swift and early takedown. Last call as well, going to be horrific here, and everyone from ZETA falls. All three members of Humble now hunkered down with all the heals of that Barley pick, the hypercharge of Symantec. This is going to be very tough to push into for ZETA.
And I feel like this is history repeating itself again. Humble with a comp that's all about setting Symantec up with a disgusting amount of healing. Blue Super does get popped here. It allows Chitampo some time on the point, but he's not that guy. His job is to actually go towards Humble's comp, not to gain them capture percentage. So ZETA Division don't really catch up at all in that window. It is a hyper from Luki.
Levy as well, just surviving on, but it's going to take time for him to heal, and he's going to need support. He goes down regardless again. A last down pop is going to do very, very little. Humble have not faltered, not a single shred, and ZETA are in serious trouble because this comp is just not doing a thing. A mere scratch. The amount of heals, the speed of boss, everything working in synergy, and Humble just made that look easy. Moving on to match point, one game away from a grand finals appearance, and not only that, double EMEA potential.
What an elegant draft from Humble. They see ZETA Division's plan a mile off. They know they're stacking tanks and they're trying to make use of Lu, so they say, fine, we need a thrower. We also could use some more healing for Symantec. And those supers, those stunning blows from Symantec have been on point. Chitampo doesn't have a way to stop crowd control. Even if he's invulnerable, he can still be stopped in his tracks.
A good defense from Humble. Pushing themselves now back into this mid. Speed from Boss going out. Luki there with the last call as well. Chitampo going to be caught off guard here. On his left-hand side, as Symantec comes in, closes the gap. Chitampo can't go too on the aggressive here. He's got to heal up at some point. But ZETA have not got time on their side, not by a long shot, as Humble now approaching 50% already.
And Luki's uncontested. He's having the easiest game of his life arc. There is nobody there to put pressure on the Barley whatsoever. Symantec zones that left side of the map. There's a last call thrown in. It's a problem for the Lu, who's still coming back off spawn. See, Levy just has no way of getting involved in that fight. Man, what an utter outdraft here from Humble. ZETA Division have no good options. They have no answer here to this last pick thrower. And this could be curtains, folks. Chitampo seems to know it. The stunning blow comes on down. Levy's going to dance among the flickering flames of this Barley damage. And these three Humble guys still have a job to do in Dallas. It's a grand final spot. Signed, sealed, and delivered. A date with Destiny and their regional rivals, SK Gaming, for all the marbles.
EMEA have walked into North America, left their shoes on, spread mud all over the carpet. It's double down, Humble and SK. My goodness me, what a Brawl Cup. Unreal.
Crowd's been behind them the whole time, all the way. They've reminded us all just of what they're capable of, but let's hear it from the man himself. Let's head to the stage, Barney and Symantec.
It's an EMEA final we have on our hands. Symantec, that final match, that final set, it kind of looked a little bit more comfortable. You kind of, ZETA have admitted that the draft has been where they faltered. You said if they get a good draft, they're more or less unstoppable. Do you feel like the draft was the difference maker?
On the first set, definitely not. I'm pretty sure they had draft. I mean, our Ollie was like completely useless in this matchup against Illumi. But we just, honestly, we played so good and we just outkilled them in first set. And then second and fourth, I'm pretty sure we had draft. So yeah, we got a draft, we got what we wanted, and we got the win.
Yes, you did indeed. Now, you know that you're going up against SK Gaming in the grand final. The EMEA regional slot has been secured. So what is this game for? Is it for pride? Is it for regional dominance? What is it for you?
It's just for honor, honestly. It's a rematch. It's a EMEA final. Why are you guys here? Just watch it online. Just watch EMEA. Honestly, EMEA on top. Yeah, it's just a rematch. We're playing for honor. We got a world slot, an LCQ slot, and it's just, yeah.
Congratulations, you guys have really proved your dominance. It's been such a pleasure to see you here on the stage, and we can't wait to see you in the grand final. Ladies and gents, make some noise for Humble!
EMEA takes that World Championship slot. That's already set in stone. Humble, the last time they lost at a LAN event, at least a set, was in the semi-finals from the World Finals 2024. The finals was also a 3-0. Every single Brawl Cup match so far has been 3-0. I mean, still, props to ZETA Division for even taking a set.
I'm glad they got that stank off the screen real quick. That was absolutely brutal.
That's on social media with that scoreboard, and then the other side, the card from the crowd which says outdraft. That's the social media post. You're welcome. Oh, crazy.
I mean, that is wild stuff. I'm keen to hear some of the sounds, of course, from the end of that game.
You see now? Yeah, nice. Nice hyper turret.
I go right.
I got another super. Go left.
Slowly, do not beat.
World champion ping, guys.
Go champion, I'm on cooldown,
Nice, guys.
Let's go!
Nice, okay.
Let's go!
Calm and collected until the very end, until Symantec loses his voice yet again.
I mean, it happens every event, doesn't it? Like, trying to get him for an interview post-event, it's very difficult. We're going to get the mic, like, basically down his throat.
Three things are certain in life, right? Death, taxes, and Symantec losing his voice at LAN, right? That's just how it is here in Brawl Stars.
Can I say something crazy? Was that a little bit anticlimactic, considering how the series started?
I mean, yes, we hyped this matchup like crazy. It was the rematch from World Finals 2024. And yeah, this guy made it look easy. It wasn't an outdraft. He says they drafted pretty well, ZETA Division, and we talked about it so often, how they are the mechanical geniuses, but maybe a bit weaker on the drafting side. In this one, I felt like it was just Humble dominating on every single part on that calculation.
Yes, I do. Okay. That's fair. I do think like the first few sets were really good drives. I do think that last set, that dueling Beatles one was spectacular from Humble. They have the advantage though. They are last pick and they basically already had got Jaeyoung in their composition. They could really flex with that last one, but I don't know, I love what Kanan put together for his their arc. That was just astonishing to see them finish in such style. What a way to stick the landing.
A lot of the community has been speaking out more than ever about how important draft is to get right. And, I'm all for it. I think that is a beautiful thing in Brawl Esports. We are broadening the horizons, allowing more opportunities for team members and analysts and managers to come in and say, right, let's get our act together because we are amazing players, if not the best players in the world. But our draft is where we're weakest. So let's enhance that, let's work on that, and bring in that knowledge to really enhance things. And this is why the Brawl Cup comes at the best time of the year for me.